This is the story of Clickclack, the Rattlebag, written by Neil Gaiman as a treat for his fans for Halloween, and retold now by Mary Blatti.
Before you take me up to bed, will you tell me a story?
Do you actually need me to take you up to bed? I asked the girl.
She thought for a moment, and then with intense seriousness, yes, actually I think you do, because I've just finished my homework, and so it's my bedtime, and I'm a bit scared. Not very scared, just a bit, but it's a very big house, and lots of times the lights don't work, and it's sort of dark.
I reached over and tousled her hair. I can understand that, I said. It is a very big old house, and she nodded. We were in the kitchen where it was light and warm, and I put down my magazine on the kitchen table. What kind of story would you like me to tell you?
Well, she said thoughtfully, I don't think it should be too scary, because then when I go to bed, I'll just be thinking about monsters the whole time. And if it isn't just a little bit scary, then I won't be interested, and you make up stories, don't you? I know he said that's what you do.
He exaggerates. I write stories, yes. Nothing that's been published yet, though, and I write lots of different kinds of stories.
But you do write scary stories?
Yes. And the girl looked up at me from the shadows by the door where she was waiting.
Do you know any stories about Clickclack the Rattlebag?
I don't think so.
Those are the best sorts of stories.
Do they tell them at your school? She shrugged.
Sometimes.
All right, what's the Clickclack the Rattlebag story? She was a precocious child and was unimpressed by her brother's girlfriend's ignorance. You could see it in her face.
Everybody knows them.
I don't, I said, trying not to smile. She looked at me as if she were trying to decide whether or not I was pulling her leg. And she said,
I think maybe you should take me up to my bedroom, and then you can tell me a story before I go to sleep. But a very not scary story, because I'll be up in my bedroom then, and it's a bit dark up there.
I said, should I leave a note for your brother, telling him where we'll be?
You can, but you'll hear when they get back. The front door is very slammy.
And we walked out of the warm and cozy kitchen into the hallway of the big house, where it was chilly and drafty and dark. I flicked the light switch, but nothing happened.
The bulb's gone, the girl said. That always happens.
Our eyes adjusted to the shadows, and the moon was almost full, and blue-white moonlight shone in through the high windows on the staircase, down into the hall. We'll be all right, I said.
Yes,
said the girl soberly.
I'm very glad you're here.
She seemed less precocious now, and her hand found mine, and her fingers held onto mine comfortably, trustingly, as if she'd known me all her life, and I felt responsible, like an adult. I didn't know if the feeling I had for her brother, who was my boyfriend, was love. I mean, not yet, but I liked that the child treated me as one of their family. I felt like her big sister, and I stood taller. If there was something unsettling about that empty house, I wouldn't have admitted it for the world. The stairs creaked beneath the carpet.
Clickclacks, said the girl, are the best monsters ever.
Are they from television?
I don't think so. I don't think anyone knows where they come from.
Mostly they come from the dark.
Good place for monsters to come. Yes.
We walked along the upper corridor in the shadows, walking from patch of moonlight to patch of moonlight. It really was a big house, and I wished I had a flashlight.
They come from the dark, said the girl, holding onto my hand. I think probably they're made of dark, and they come in when you don't pay attention. And that's when they come in, and then they take you back to their... not nest. What's the word that's like nest but not?
House?
No, it's not a house.
Lair?
And she was silent. And then, I think that's the right word, yes, lair.
And she squeezed my hand. She stopped talking. Right, so they take people who don't pay attention back to their lair. What do they do then, your monsters? Do they suck all the blood out of you like vampires? She snorted.
Vampires don't suck all the blood out of you. They only drink a little bit just to keep them going. And flying around. Clickclacks are much scarier than vampires.
I'm not scared of vampires, I told her.
Me neither. I'm not scared of vampires either. Do you want to know what Clickclacks do?
They drink you, said the girl. Like a Coke?
Coke is very bad for you. If you put a tooth in Coke in the morning, it will be dissolved into nothing. And that's how bad Coke is for you and why you must always clean your teeth every night.
Now, I'd heard the Coke story as a girl, and I'd been told as an adult that it wasn't true. but was certain that a lie which promoted dental hygiene was a good lie, and so I let it pass.
Clickclacks drink you, said the girl. First, they bite you, and then you go all icky inside, and then all your meat and all your brains and everything except your bones and your skin turns into this white milkshakey stuff. And then the Clickclacks suck it out through the holes where your eyes used to be.
Oh, that's disgusting, I told her. Did you make it up? We'd reached the last flight of stairs, all the way into the big house.
No.
I can't believe you kids make up stuff like that.
You didn't ask me about the rattle bag, she said.
Right. What's the rattle bag?
Well, she said, a small voice from the darkness beside me. Once you're just bones and skin, they hang you up on a hook, and you rattle in the wind.
What do these Clickclacks look like? And even as I asked her, I wished that I could take the question back and leave it unasked. I thought huge, spidery creatures like the one in my shower this morning, and I am terrified of spiders. I was relieved when the girl said,
They look like, well, what you aren't expecting, what you aren't paying attention to.
And we were climbing the old wooden steps now, and I held onto the railing with my left hand and held onto her with my right as she walked beside me. And it smelled like dust and old wood that high in the house. And the girl's tread was certain, even though the moonlight was scarce.
Do you know what story you're going to tell me when you put me to bed? It actually doesn't have to be scary, not really. Maybe you could just tell me about this evening. Tell me what you did.
That won't make much of a story for you. My boyfriend just moved into a new place on the edge of town, and he got it from an aunt or someone, and it's very big and very old, and I'm going to spend the first night here tonight, and I've been waiting for an hour or so for him and his friend to come back with all of our food.
See? Said the girl.
There was that precocious amusement again, but all kids can be insufferable sometimes when they think they know something you don't. And it's probably good for them.
You know all that, but you don't think. You just let your brain fill in the gaps.
She pushed open the door to the attic room, and it was perfectly dark now. But the opening door disturbed the air, and I heard things rattle gently, like dried bones in a thin bag in the slight wind. Click-clack, click-clack, like that. And I would have pulled away then if I could have, but firm, small fingers pulled me forward unrelentingly into the dark.